Welcome into the banter.
Thanks, Hunt. Shoot, where's the remote?
Trevor's got it.
Point at the screen.
Trevor,
What?
give it back to me.
I was going to do like a funny bit. I was going to do a funny...
You know it doesn't
two
work from over there.
episodes, you've ended up tossing it to us. Yeah, like
That's not true.
That is
I've watched
true.
it happen. You've been like, here,
You
just
threw
take
it to
it.
us. You're like, here, just take it. I can't do it. And you threw it to us.
Yeah,
Surely that's a joke.
That's not a
That's not a
joke.
bit.
It
I watched
happened.
you do it. You said, just take it. Here, you do it. And then somebody turned it
That's
on.
how it
Like, I
ended up
watched
over
it
here.
happen.
The last one had Brody on it, and that's not what
Maybe it was
happened.
2 times ago, but it
You
did
definitely tossed
happen.
it over here.
Okay, well, you said the last 2 times, and that's not true.
Whatever.
This podcast is about the truth, Trevor.
Yeah,
We're trying to find the truth.
Then I guess
right now.
we better not talk about the pyramids.
That's true. That's true. Because no one knows the truth of those. But you
Right,
know what is the
because
truth?
the pyramids don't exist.
Let me tell you some truth. Football season is back. You know what that means? Touchdown
who?
dances, Sunday
Who?
tailgates, and epic fantasy showdowns. But fellas, let's not forget about the real MVP of this season. Introducing the all-new Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped.
Wish mine wasn't packed in storage right now.
Your ultimate luxury beard grooming experience. This kit is your secret weapon for staying sharp on and off the field. So don't fumble this opportunity. Head over to manscaped.com and elevate your grooming game with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. You heard that right. 9 million men or 109 MetLife stadiums. Go over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BANTER20. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit's a grooming powerhouse built for precision and style, just like your favorite quarterback. This kit tackles beard touch-ups effortlessly, ensuring you're always prepped for the next play. Plus, has a compact design for easy portability. The big thing with this, though, is the cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting links with one guard. That's right. 20 different beard links in just one guard. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. And the titanium-coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face. So go over to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with code BANTER20. Again, that's 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com with code BANTER20. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's episode.
Thanks, mans.
All right, I have a story that I would be interested in telling you guys if you're up for it.
Finally.
Nah.
Yeah.
So, just to give everybody a little bit of background, this event took place last week.
I can't remember like what the context was.
And I purposely didn't tell this story because I was saving it for the banter because I thought it'd be better if I had Hunter and Trevor's actual reactions. It's not a crazy story.
Oh.
It's just fun. Okay.
Okay.
So, for those of you that don't know, I very much enjoy fishing, and I've recently gotten a fishing kayak.
Oh, I remember.
And so some of the most fun I have in my life right now is whenever I have a little bit of time and I can take my fishing kayak out on the James River.
On the James,
as I like to call it. And it's just really fun. It's very peaceful for me. Well, on last Thursday, my wife was out of town because she was going up early to a wedding that we were going to last weekend because she was in the bridal party. And so I was going to go up on Friday. So I had the night to myself on Thursday. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. Whenever I get off work, I'm just going to go spend the rest of the evening on the James River. And I was really excited about it. But then I kind of last minute remembered, I would love to hang out with my friend Ryan. He's moving soon, real sweet guy. He's always up for like anything I want to do. If I just whatever I'm going to do, if I'm just like, hey Ryan, you want to come do this? He's like, yeah, sure, that sounds like fun. So I texted him and I was like, hey, how would you like to go kayaking with me later this afternoon going fishing? And he was like, sounds good. And I was like, cool. So I put him in Gabby's kayak. And Ryan's never been kayaking before. So I was like a little bit nervous because I just have like whenever I'm with other people, I have like a hard time not being nervous for them. Like if we're doing stuff, like I feel pretty confident myself doing things, but like whenever we're like riding bikes or stuff like that and like on vacation or something like that, I'm just constantly worried about my entire family. I'm like, somebody's going to fall off the edge of this boardwalk, or like, especially if there's heights involved, I get super nervous for anyone that's around me. I just get like anxious for them. But I threw Gabby's kayak and my kayak on the car. Me and Ryan head to the James River. It was about 5 o'clock when we got on the water. So when boats touched the water, it was 5 o'clock. And I pushed Ryan out first, and he's in a 9.5 foot kayak, pretty small kayak, but the weight limit is like 350 pounds. So he's fine, but it's just a pretty small kayak. And I pushed him out first just to watch him and help him like get his bearings straight and everything. And he was like a little bit nervous when we first went in. He was definitely like shaking a lot because it takes you a while to...
Well, you got to find that secondary support. You got to find it.
Secondary stability, yeah. But it takes you a while to realize that you don't need to balance in the kayak. You can just let it balance you. Because at first, when you start tipping side to side because you're in water, you feel like you need to like keep yourself straight, and so you like get really shaky. But you can just trust that the kayak's gonna stay, and you can just like relax a little bit. So he was in that stage where he was trying to balance. He also didn't know how to use the paddle really, so he was like just like jamming it in the water and going all jaggedy. But then I was telling him like, hey, do this, do this. I was giving him instructions from the bank, and I told him like, be honest with me. If you get in there and you're like, this isn't for me, we'll put the kayaks back up. We'll go get dinner or something. Like we won't worry about it. Like I was like, I just want you to be honest with me because I don't want you to just drag you through this and you be miserable the whole time. And he was like, no, I think I'm good. And he got way smoother with it just after a couple minutes.
Sure.
Then he
There's
became
a little bit of a learning curve.
relaxed. Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve to it. But he got way better at it. And so I was like, how do you feel? Like, should I get in and like us start paddling, or like what are you feeling? He was like, no, I think I'm good. I'm like, okay, sweet. So we get in there. He's doing a great job at this point. But where I really want to go is going upstream, up the river on the right. There's a little reservoir spillway up there that I've always wanted to fish, but you've got to paddle upstream a good ways to get there. And I noticed that once you go upstream a little bit, it kind of narrows a little bit and the water becomes a lot faster. And so it gets harder to get up there. But he knew that I wanted to go up there, so I was like, let's try, and I'll go first. And if it's like, if I feel a little uncomfortable with paddling up it, then we'll just turn around, because he'll have a lot harder time in his boat because it's a shorter boat, so it gets turned around by the water a lot more easily. And so I started paddling up it, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of strong. Let's just not worry about going up here. It's fine. So we just kind of fished around in that area for a little bit. And in like the middle area of the river it was like super calm, almost still water. So we were just like sitting, fishing, having a great time, cutting up, all that stuff. And then we're like, hey, since it's so calm, let's just float down to the bridge down there at Percival's Island. So Percival's Island is near downtown Lynchburg. It's just kind of like this island in the middle of the river. And so we just float down to Percival's Island and fish around there for a little bit. Because again, the water's super calm. We knew we'd be able to make it back. So I'm like, hey, let's just float down a little bit more since the water's so calm. On the left side of Percival's Island, completely calm water going under that bridge. On the right side, I know there's some rapids that go under the bridge over there. So we're kind of fishing over there because I thought those rapids would be a good place where fish would be and everything. And I'm just kind of like floating still, and all of a sudden my boat starts moving really fast, and I did not plan to go down the river on this side. We kind of just wanted to float there for a second, and this rapid just kind of like sucks me down, and we go through it. It was fine, didn't tip or anything. It was just I was trying not to go down it and was trying to paddle up, but just was like it was too strong. So I was like, Ryan, I guess we're going downstream this way because there's no way to get back up this rapid. So he goes down it, and there's about 5 minutes of like, this is the most fun I've ever had because there's just rapid after rapid after rapid of us just going through it. And it was like being at a water park. It was so much fun because you just like paddling all the right ways to keep yourself up and like steer the right way and everything. And you bumping against rocks and you're like all this. It's so much fun. We were both like laughing so hard. At this point, it's about 7:45 or so, around maybe about 8 o'clock. And so we're like, okay, well, we're definitely not getting back up this way because we can't go up the rapids. We'll just go around Percival's Island and then come back up on the calm side because you know it's really calm. So we're like, okay, cool, let's bow down. But it's probably time for us to head back because it's like the sun is setting at this point. And so we paddle like a little bit further and just get completely beached because the water goes down to like 6 inches. And so we paddle up and we're just scooting and just not getting anywhere. So mine is a sit on top fishing kayak. The one he was using was just like a sit in kayak, so it's not super easy to get in and out of. So basically for like 100 feet or so, I just get out and I'm dragging both my kayak and him in his kayak over this shallow water, and then we get to a pocket where we think we're good and we're floating, get back in just to get beached again, and then drag for another 100 feet. And so I'm exhausted at this point. He's exhausted from scooting. And then we finally make it past that point. Now it's like dark. Like it's like 7 or like 8:30-ish. And it's dark at this point. Yeah. And so we finally get past this bridge, and it's deep again, probably 4 or 5 feet. And so we're floating. We're all good. I'm like, hey, it's dark, but I'm not nervous. I don't have to be back for anything. Like it's not scary out here or anything. It's actually really beautiful, and it's a really clear night, so you can still see ish. But I was like, I still think our best bet is to just go all the way down and around Percival's Island and paddle up the comp sign. He was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good to me. So we're like, I think it's right around that bend. So we paddle for like, a good bit longer. We're paddling downstream and get around this bend, and it's not the end of the island. So I'm like, hey, I'm just going to get Google Maps out and make sure that this island is the size I think it is. We weren't even a fifth of the way down the island. Like, we had miles left until we got to the end of the island so that we could paddle back upstream, which was multiple miles as well. And now it's like 8:45. And I'm just like, Ryan, I don't know what to do. I was like, I think our only option, because it's not an option for us to paddle all the way down. It's going to take us multiple hours. And I think that we have to just paddle back upstream and then walk the kayaks up the rapids. I think is the only thing we can do. So he's just like, okay. And again, Ryan is new to kayaking, so he's been using just a lot of arms and everything, hasn't been using his body, so his shoulders are killing him. He's like, I can barely paddle anymore. I'm like, you're going to have to, because we've got to make it back. At this point, I'm starting to get kind of nervous, but we're good. Me and Ryan,
there wasn't anywhere to like take him ashore and like you could drive to him.
So that was our next idea, because we start paddling a little bit and we get back to the shallow part.
Yeah.
And we thought getting over the shallow part going downstream was hard. Going upstream was basically impossible. Yeah. So at this point, I'm wearing my Tevas. I'm walking through pitch black water, 2 kayaks dragging them behind me, stubbing my toes on everything, thinking any second I'm just gonna rip my ankle in half. And so that's whenever I start thinking, if I'm having this much trouble in half a foot of water, what happens when we get to the rapids and I'm trying to drag kayaks up rapids? Like, it's got to be the most dangerous thing you can do, trying to walk up rapids in the pitch black. And so I look over to the bank on the left and I notice that there's a fence up there, and I recognize the fence, and it's the fence next to the parking lot next to the love sign in downtown.
There you go.
And so the problem is that,
like a beacon of hope.
Yeah. But the problem is that once you get to that bank, it's about 100 feet up the bank, and the bank is like a 45-degree angle and a narrow path to get to it.
No.
So we paddle up on that, and we're walking at this point. So we just drag the kayaks up on the bank, and I'm like, I guess walking to the car from here will be easier on the road than through the river. But we're all the way down on the end of downtown at this point. To get to our cars, we have to walk all the way across downtown to the very other side, go across the bridge right there going to Amherst, and then walk off of that exit, and then walk like a mile down the road to get to the car, which is at like the riverfront park there.
Oh my gosh, dude.
But then Ryan's like, hey, my friend TJ lives in downtown. I bet you I'll look at his location and see if he's like at home and just see if he'll come pick us up.
I thought you were going to get some bird scooters or something.
No, dude, I can't afford a bird scooter going that far. Are you kidding me?
$50.
Yeah, it'd be like $40. But so then Ryan calls his friend TJ. TJ's at home. He comes and he picks us up. The funniest thing is that we walk out of the woods and we're like, and we're wearing life jackets. And there's these guys like stretching, getting ready for a run, and we just look like psychopaths who just walked up from the river like we just got shipwrecked.
Oh my gosh.
So TJ comes and picks us up in his car, and he's like, what happened? We're like, don't ask. And so he drives us all the way to my car. We get in the car, drive all the way back to that parking lot. We managed to get my 80-pound kayak up this 100-foot, 45-degree angle through this path and drag it up there, and then get his kayak too, all the equipment and everything, put it back in the car, go to cookout. Great time. By this point, it was...
What time do you get to cookout? 11?
9:35.
Oh,
that's
okay.
not bad.
Yeah,
All right.
it wasn't that bad.
That's not too bad.
But it was...
What lessons did we learn?
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm always down for a cheap lesson, okay?
Yeah.
So a lesson that teaches you a lot but costs you a little, and everybody was safe. We were all good. There was always the possibility that my $1,500 kayak was going to get stolen while I was miles away from it. That was scary.
I thought you would have one person wait with the kayaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary down there. I mean, we were in downtown next to the river at night. there's a lot of really sketchy people that go catfishing really late at night. So I was terrified of that.
There you go.
Catfishing, like for fish or for
for catfish.
No, they're wearing costumes.
Yeah, I didn't know.
They're like, hey, I'm a pretty lady.
Catfishing in person is a whole different
Yeah, it is a
animal.
whole-
That sounds fun.
Trevor did that in downtown one
That
time.
is
We did
true.
it. We did it in a
I don't
video.
wanna be around anymore.
And so, yeah, I've watched hundreds of YouTube videos, hundreds that are all like, make sure you plan out your route. Make sure you always paddle upstream first. You know, make sure that you're aware with your water, aware with your surroundings, so that you know how hard it's going to be
You
to
can
get
do any
back.
of those things.
Yeah,
Make sure
you
you pay
just
attention to
broke
the
every
time.
rule.
I broke every rule. I got with Ryan. I got really silly, and we were like, "Yeah, let's go down the rapids," and we did. And you know what? I don't regret anything. It was a fun time. No one got hurt.
Ryan hates you now.
No, he had a great time.
No.
We're always down for
texted me.
we're always down for a mess around. Ryan's the guy that's like always in the car with me whenever my car gets broken down halfway between Charlotte and Lynchburg.
I would 1,000% would have liked to be the person in that story.
Yeah.
I think that's a great time. Yeah, because it ended up okay and not too bad. Now, if you'd have been there till midnight and it would have got any harder, I'd probably be like, I don't want to be any part of that. But that sounded like a great time. But I wonder, like, if I would have been there, if I'd have been like, hey man, like I feel like I would have pulled out my phone an hour earlier and be like, you realize Percival's Island is like 6 miles long, right?
Yeah,
I never realized it was that long.
That would have been like, I would have been
because
like,
I've ran
we
on
can just go
Percival's
around
Island.
it.
Because you run across to it and there's a trail on it, right?
Yeah, I don't know why
I run
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's long.
It's
Yeah,
multiple
I was
miles
like,
long.
as soon as we would have got there, I'd been like,
I also know that
Oh, wait a
Connor's
second, Connor.
I think it
super
actually
confident.
is. I think it's like 6.3 miles long.
I
yeah,
know
I
that
was gonna say, I think
Connor.
that's like the whole, like, this is the end of the Black Rock Creek Trail.
I don't
It's long
blame
down
Ryan
there.
because Connor talks with confidence. He was probably like, yeah, we'll just go right around the end.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
I
would've
said.
been- and I would've been like,
look,
oh,
the end of
okay.
the end of the island's right there on the bend. I can see the end of the island, stupid.
That's like,
And
we are only one.
we didn't
fifth
catch a
away.
single fish.
That's
Oh.
And I had just bought a $10 lure that day,
Lost
threw it
her.
into a tree.
Catch
I
a
do
tree
have to
pounder.
I
question-
spent about 20 minutes throwing logs at this tree trying to get this lure out. Didn't work.
if your kayak is easy to maneuver, why'd you put Ryan in the other one?
Because it's Connor's kayak.
Because it's
bro.
my kayak.
I just
He barely ever gets to
I was saying,
use
like,
it.
the story, most of the story was about how Ryan was struggling with that kayak. And
Well,
the
that
whole
was
time
just
I'm thinking,
kayaking because my kayak is even more wobbly on purpose, so that you can maneuver better. So he would feel pretty uncomfortable in that too. But I do feel like a little bit weird throwing people in a kayak that I've never been in because I don't know what to tell them about it. So I did feel
Next
that,
time
but-
you're down for a good midnight kayak, I say you and I take on the same route after it rains, and then and see if we can do it this time.
Yeah.
This time we're not there to fish.
Hey,
we're there to like
don't
just
let
get
me-
around the island.
I don't have me be the friend that you text. I will not come.
I
will not wake up.
did also learn something.
I will be asleep.
I thought that the kayaking was just like to help me get to better fishing. I learned that I just really enjoy kayaking.
well,
'Cause
if you got some river action, like some
Yeah, it was
rapids,
so much fun. Also, my kayak is freaking sick. It paddles like
Oh.
crazy good.
it paddles crazy good.
awesome.
You just get a trolling motor on that thing, and you're going upstream.
Nah, dude, don't even. I got these two guns.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dang.
the trolls.
yeah, the trolls.
Nice, dude.
Counter the troll.
You see like a little handheld one you can just like stick on there.
Like a
Is that
fan that
thing?
uses a soccer game.
Yeah, basically that, but a trolling motor.
That's
Don't get your hand
basically what a
stuck in
trolling
it.
motor is.
Yeah, pretty much. Just metal.
Yeah, it's just a motor made out of troll hair.
Why do they call it a trolling motor?
It's for trolling.
Well, what is that?
Trolling is slowly moving. It's like controlled slow movement.
Trolling.
Because trolling motors are typically used at the front, the bow of a fishing boat.
And you can
So
control with
you-
your foot.
Yeah, you cut off your main motor.
It's fun.
And then you control it with your foot so that you can be fishing a bank and moving at the same time without your big motor on.
Just be creeping around.
It's called trolling.
Oh.
Trolling is also a term used for whenever you're slowly moving and you have a bait in the water moving with the boat. It's also called trolling.
That's how you catch sharks.
Really?
Sharks.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I mean, I should trust
You
this
should
guy.
trust me.
He's got freaking swordfish or something on his shirt. I want to catch a
Sword
catch
shark.
a marlin.
Yeah?
I saw his TikTok and it was like biggest fish, and then there's a big old marlin.
It's a good movie, Marlon and Me. I like that movie.
That movie's sad.
It is a really sad movie.
Yeah, movie
I
was
watched
very sad.
the Kelsey documentary on Prime about Jason Kelsey last season. Fantastic documentary.
It is a good documentary,
It was
man.
very good.
Family man.
What do you guys think about this whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing?
Oh no.
I don't think it's real.
You don't think it's real?
It's definitely
real.
Here's what I think.
I think Travis Kelce is playing a dangerous game though because he is going to get. Well, no, I think he's going to get a ton of people. He's going to get a ton of people to become Kansas City fans and fans of him,
and then hate him,
and then
turn on him.
Something's going to happen where they break up, and then he's going to become the most hated man.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I think that Travis Kelce was legitimately and is legitimately smitten with Taylor Swift. You see the pictures and the videos of him like looking up at her. On the football field, like seeing if she's like watching him play, and like I've seen that face before. Like, I remember my broom ball or intramural games in college.
It's a celebrity worth millions of dollars is watching me play football.
Travis Kelce's worth millions.
Well,
millions
but still, like she's like one of the top celebrities in the world.
Once you get to that level of money, though,
I'm just saying he's
not that much.
He's definitely
he does a lot for his brand, though.
He could already buy everything you wanted.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because Taylor Swift's never, to my knowledge, been with the athlete guy. This is a different, and nothing else has worked.
You'll do
thus
much
far.
more important things in life than date the boy on the football team. It's in 15 by Taylor Swift.
See, and contradiction. Boom.
Yeah.
All roads lead to the football guy, I guess. But it is. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out because. Yeah, I don't know. I feel I
did like the family vibe of like she was with Donna Kelce, his mom up there, and they were hanging out.
If you watch, because
he already introduced her to his mom.
If you watch the podcast with like Jason, his brother,
is what I need to hear about.
Jason and Travis Kelce, like Jason Kelce is married with 2 daughters.
3
daughters.
Yeah.
And you can tell in the podcast multiple times Travis Kelce like even mentions like that's what he wants. Like he wants somebody that like makes like that he wants to settle down with. Like it seems like he wants that. So I fear for him because trying to bag Taylor Swift and settle down, she
just wants another album.
That's a tough
more content.
That's not true.
That's a tough task.
That's not true.
I don't know that that's true, but like
it's not
obviously true. She's dated
because think how much
50 guys.
Think the Travis Kelce Revenge album. I mean, that's going to the moon.
Nobody else.
Loving You was
Taylor
red and
Swift,
yellow.
Nobody else has managed to marry Taylor Swift.
Doesn't only write. She's a storyteller. She tells stories. They're not all about her.
Yeah, tells stories about her life.
It's not. No, that's not how songwriters.
A lot of her songs have been about men that she dated. That's a true statement.
But not all of them.
No, not all of them, but a lot of them. And
the Travis Kelce album's going to go
that's
hard.
What I'm
but
saying.
just be clear, most of every artist's songs are about people they've dated.
You can tell who's the Swiftie.
I mean, think about Blink 182, Linkin Park, like or not Linkin Park.
I didn't say that's not
Green Day, like
we're only
even
saying,
a lot of punk.
I was just saying she's gonna write songs about
it's
Travis
like people
Kelce
used to
if they
say
break
that.
up. That's all I was saying.
But that's what you were saying. Like that was the point of it. That's what.
No,
I
I don't believe that. I don't believe that's the point.
I mean, but like she knows the Travis Kelce album's gonna go hard.
All I'm saying is it's been very hard thus far to marry Taylor Swift. Apparently, it has been. But I also do.
How many
guys
do you have to go
you
through
get
before the problem is you and not the guys?
Hey, something to be said about that.
But can you say that for every person her age? Because you can say the thing about Travis Kelce. He's around the same age, and he's also not married. So,
well, how many girls has he gone through? I don't know.
We don't know.
I haven't heard his diss tracks.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know. I mean, they're both 33. I have this feeling.
33 and me.
I have this feeling that
That's the album cover.
This one could work out. I just have this feeling because I don't know. That just I have this.
So
feeling,
the question I have, because I didn't listen to
Carrie Underwood married a hockey player.
All I heard was just
parallels
from you guys about like kind of what you were saying, but you said something about how he was saying on like a podcast or something how he wanted to get with her was the words that were used.
He said so. He went to
they never talked about it on the podcast.
No, they did. The first time you ever heard about it, was on the podcast. He mentioned that he went to the concert that was at the Chiefs Stadium when she was in Kansas City. And he brought to the concert, like, you know how they trade the friendship bracelets?
Yeah.
He brought one with his number on it and wanted to give it to Taylor Swift, like wanted to meet her, and he wasn't able to meet her, and he was like really disappointed. So he just said that on the podcast.
Okay.
That's what started this whole thing. And then...
Okay, so
I was saying the rumors he never addressed on the podcast until she came to the game.
Yeah, then the rumors... No, he did once. Before she came to the game.
Did he?
Yeah,
I never saw that clip.
He said whenever they were first hanging out or whatever, and there were rumors, he said he was super embarrassed because like it was getting so much attention. It was like,
yeah, but he didn't like give any like he didn't fill in anything until she was at the game.
Fill in what?
More details than the news had.
No, yeah, correct.
Like he didn't break anything on the podcast that you didn't know.
Yeah, it was a very low key thing, but you just kind of heard that he was interested, and that was kind of that. But then Taylor Swift fans latch onto that, and then it slowly turned into like people were talking about it a bunch. Then it turned into apparently they've been texting each other. Oh, apparently they've been hanging out like quietly, like low key. And then when she was at the game, I mean, that like blew up all of social media.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
so the way
NFL was licking.
Did you see Will Compton on Bustin' with? I think it was on Bustin' with the Boys, where he said he was saying that the NFL is bigger than Taylor Swift, and he's like, Swifties, welcome. And then their like producer, they all like everyone starts laughing at him. He's like, well, come on, guys, like NFL's bigger than Taylor Swift, and their producer pulls it up and goes, the NFL on Instagram has 27 million followers. And he goes, Taylor Swift has 272 million followers.
Yeah.
Every single post.
NFL is America famous.
Every single post that the NFL was making was about Taylor Swift for like an entire week there. Well, the week's not even over yet. But
SportsCenter had a good break from Dion week to get to Taylor Swift. And we'll be back with Dion for USC this weekend.
It was hilarious seeing like on my social media feed there are girls now making compilations of Travis Kelce. They're doing the work like all the guys that make like the hype compilations of their favorite football player. The girls are doing the work for us now because they're a little bit different. They're a lot more of him on the sideline and like smiling.
That's the kind of stuff I want to see.
Not as much catching touchdowns, but
his mustache is just swooning
like,
America.
There's like girls tweeting. This is so funny. There's girls tweeting being like, for those of you who are new to the NFL because you're watching the Chiefs, like this is how football works.
Yeah.
It is like, this is huge. I mean, his merchandise sales went up 400% after Sunday.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, with the Taylor Swift thing, this can all go downhill. So just hope it doesn't. I'm rooting for him.
Well, so I was going to say the reason why it bothered me before was because the way that I had heard it, the specific word I used was how he wants to get with her, which to me which obviously wasn't the case. But that whenever I heard that, I was like, oh, this guy is just like on like a podcast talking about how he wants to get with Taylor Swift. I was like, and like to me, that's a really disrespectful way to talk about someone. And I was like, and then she gave into that, and she wanted to like go.
Oh, she wants to get with the football guy.
And I was like, she wants to go and be seen with someone who's like talking about her like that. Like that's messed up. I don't like it.
I mean, she just rebounded off of Maddie Healy, so.
I don't
know if T Swift is all about the respectful men anyways.
I just don't like it whenever I don't like him either for a lot of reasons. But I just don't like it whenever people go like decide that they're going to hang out with someone who's just a dirtbag and is super disrespectful. And so that's the way I took that phrase, was that he was talking about her in a poor way, but it sounds like he wasn't. He was just talking about how he really wanted to meet her.
Yeah, I think
in that case, I think that's great.
I think it seems pretty genuine, but that's what I'm saying. I'm worried about him. He's guard his heart.
Yeah,
he's guard his heart.
I can guarantee he probably ain't gonna. Whenever you've got millions and millions of people making TikToks and tweeting about you being with this girl, I don't think it's gonna
snowball.
go. There's no way it's gonna go well.
No,
not a single way it's gonna go well.
It could do. We're there happily ever after, bro.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's true.
You never know.
Bring
by spring.
Realistically, if you're Taylor Swift, I don't see how a relationship could ever. Like, I don't see how you could get married unless you spend time out of the spotlight before. Because like no matter who you date, even if you dated a nobody, it'll become such a big thing that there's
she was with Joe Alwyn for what 6-7 years, I want to say. They had a good run.
Yeah,
there.
but like it didn't
work out. You're right, but they did have a good run.
But
I think
they
were
also
engaged.
like Taylor Swift's bigger now than ever.
Yeah, they are.
Like her tour altered the American economy.
Yeah,
it was so big.
Heck yeah, it did.
Well, she also has like some of her. She has like the way to live personal life as a celebrity supposedly figured out, because she's like not seen in public unless she wants to be seen. Like
there were rumors. Get this.
That she came out of the popcorn machine.
Yeah, so everybody was waiting because people obviously caught on that she was up in the suite, like the Travis Kelce's like suite up there at the Chiefs Stadium, and so people were waiting for her to walk out of like the suite exit. A lot of people that were even up in the suites who even had access there were just sitting down there waiting. Like, is Taylor Swift about to walk out of here? Of course. Who wouldn't? I would.
Yeah.
And then nobody was ever seen walking out of there except this very tall popcorn machine that was enclosed was rolled away, and people were suspecting that she was in there.
People were filming and they're like, Taylor's in there, right? She's in there.
It looked
and
way
one
too
man was
obvious.
just like pushing and just like looking at him like, what are you talking about? Just like kept pushing.
Just imagine if you're the person just pushing just a plain popcorn machine. You'd be like, Taylor Swift is in there, right? Taylor Swift is in there. And you're just like, what's happening?
Probably just a different exit. But very fun to consider.
That is
Taylor
really
Swift
funny.
may
Well,
have
I
been
mean,
just riding around.
would they have a different
It's like
exit?
the Michael Scott cheese cart, basically. That's what was happening.
Listen,
But
well, I don't know much about Travis Kelce. If it's just that he had a crush on her and he was like, I really wanted to meet her and it worked out, I think that's super sweet. I don't really.
it's the beginning of a wonderful story, man.
Yeah,
It's going to end.
I don't know
flames.
why I feel like I have to take the stance of defending Taylor Swift. I don't really support Taylor Swift very much as a person. I love her music though. I think that she's nice. I think she's probably a really nice person.
Maybe.
But
I don't know, man.
I would assume she is, but
I'm fine with
I like Taylor
the
Swift's
hype
music.
currently, but like hopefully it's gone in like a week or two.
What hype?
Because I'm gonna get real sick if SportsCenter just keeps posting.
Oh, dude,
this
I-
crap.
yeah, makes
Nah,
sense.
dude, I eat that crap up, dude.
I enjoy it like the first like this week's been fun.
Here's the good news for you.
But,
She's
like-
not going to be at games because she's still touring. And also,
no, I'm just saying like
well, she does have a break in her tour, I think, like sometime near the end of this year.
like I don't mind the Dion storyline because like that's all about sports.
I don't know what that is.
Deion
Sanders.
He's coaching
The coach at Colorado.
coaching Colorado.
Because like that's a fun thing of like he's a polar. It's just similar to when they only post about the Warriors or when they only post about LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Like if at least then it's all about sports and you either love it or hate it, and it grows that love or hatred for it, which then makes the game feel way bigger.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift doesn't make a game feel bigger.
I don't know, man. She's bigger than the NFL.
That's fine. Yeah. I didn't. That wasn't my point.
For your sake,
That was Will's point.
For your sake, I hope she's not at any more games because I can promise you if she's there,
No, I understand the
It's the
engagement.
only
I'm not
thing
going to
that
be
we
one of those
posted.
people that comments like, why the frick we posting about this? Let's get back to sports.
You know
Because
why.
I know why. It's going to get more engagement than anything else they post.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I just like,
Crazy crossover. It's crazy that Taylor Swift has that kind of influential power to like.
It is crazy.
Because like, though she is bigger than the NFL is unspeakably big. Like, humongous. It is a superpower in this country. Like in America, the NFL is so big.
I do think that
and she just took the show. She took the show. All she had to do is show up to a game.
the scale, but it was because she was dating. Like she's probably been to NFL games before. It's because of the scope of dating an NFL player.
Yes, but also like I'm sure we would see posts about it anytime she showed up to a game.
Is Taylor Swift the most
least
popular
a post.
artist in the world?
Well, she didn't win Artist of the Decade. Drake did. I would say her and Drake.
That's crazy.
Her and Drake are probably 1-2.
I don't feel like I ever hear anything about Drake.
Well, you're not really in that scene. Like,
Yeah.
you don't listen
I mean, I listen to a
rap
lot
music.
more Drake music than
Well, yeah,
Taylor
I
Swift.
mean, I get that. Well, I mean,
Like,
I listen to a lot of
Well,
other music.
Drake's
rather
touring
than
right now.
Taylor
I'm
Swift,
sure that
but-
Drake's tour is not doing as much numbers as Taylor Swift's. But if Drake did an Eras tour like Taylor Swift is, I bet they would draw pretty similar audiences if he played through his hits.
Well, the tough part is I think this is partly Taylor Swift's definitely bigger than the NFL, but I think part of why it looks so drastic is like so many diehard NFL fans aren't on social media. Like think of your crazy uncles.
Right, like the older
They
guys.
they all would they like there's
makes
so
sense.
much of
But
NFL
still, the
fans that are
NFL just
older.
has America as an audience.
Not true.
No.
I mean, it's not completely true, but it is still.
American football is only played here.
Most of the audience, but
Yeah.
but they do
Like
do
the
play
London games are sold out.
They play in Germany and London, and they do have. There's a lot of NFL fans worldwide, but Taylor Swift obviously translates a little easier.
Yeah,
than
I'm
a-
just saying
than a sport that
Instagram
isn't played.
fandom isn't the best scope of that just because so many
Yeah, of
NFL
course.
fans are old.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But the Drake tour would be an interesting one because I don't think Drake fans would be nearly as loud on social media. So even if it was as big of a deal,
Not as loud, but they do. Well, you can just look at how much the tour grosses.
I'm just saying
That's what I mean.
the Swifties are
They're
TikTok,
undefeated.
like TikTok girls.
Taylor Swift's fans
So
are undefeated.
Taylor Swift's fans are going to just all make content going to the concert, whereas Drake fans wouldn't all make content
yeah,
going to a
the
Drake
Taylor
concert.
Swift fans are probably undefeated.
So that's where I think the tour becomes bigger, is
think-
because it becomes
so
not
much
even
hype
as
around
much
it.
of a
Seeing
thing
it,
about.
I see it almost every
That's what
time
I'm
she makes
saying,
a stop.
is
I know
it's-
somebody that was there.
It's not even as much about going to see Taylor Swift as it is I want to be able to make a social media post that has a chance to go
Listen, I
viral
watched-
of me going to the Eras
I watched
tour.
the entire tour on YouTube. Somebody filmed the whole thing, and when she was in San Francisco. I'm not scared.
I'm not
to
a
admit it.
concert guy.
I'm not
I've
really
decided.
either, but I just like it was cool that she was playing all the old songs.
I would totally go.
I think Artist of the Decade.
I have not seen
her.
any of these viral things that you guys are talking about. I do not know about them, but I would totally go to
It's
the
just
Eras
everybody.
tour.
everyone
Films
posts about it.
themselves
Gotcha.
at the concert or going to the concert.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, you don't go to the concert unless you're making a post
Yeah,
about it. Which is what I'm saying. I don't think Drake's would be the same, which would make Drake's not be as big.
Yeah. I think Artist of the Decade came down to her, Drake, and Ed Sheeran. I'm not kidding.
Taylor Swift is the reason why Ed Sheeran got popular. She found him before he was famous, and she had him be her opening act.
So
she's the one who made him famous.
Does that change what you think about Taylor Swift, knowing that she
rose
saw
that
his
terrible
vocal
man to
talent?
fame.
I will repeatedly say that I like Taylor Swift a lot as an artist, as a songwriter.
Yeah, I'm saying, does that change your opinion because she saw that in Ed Sheeran and you don't like Ed Sheeran?
That I do not prefer to listen to Ed Sheeran's music. You are correct. But I don't think that he's a bad artist. He obviously did something right. He got everybody's attention.
Hit him with it.
I don't think that he's a good technical singer, but I think his voice is nice.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, what did Taylor Swift see in him then? Does that change your opinion on
that
Taylor
he had
Swift's
the potential
skill?
that he had the potential to be a good artist.
Hit him with it.
Just question.
It does not make me question Taylor Swift's skill.
I'm just excited for, what is she going to title the Travis Kelce album?
Probably like You Got Me Seeing Football Stars.
I thought it was Touchdown. Turns out.
No, this doesn't sound like an album title.
Yeah.
Like album would be like a few words.
It doesn't have to be.
Okay,
Taylor
it's
Swift could
just-
title her. She could make her album title a paragraph, and guess what? Everybody would still buy
I've
it.
seen-
it's just-
And
Let's
she
say
would
like
all know
Red.
it.
Like they've all been like one or two words.
She
Taylor
does.
album.
Yeah, wait a
Travis.
second. Has she ever done? What are her 1989 after more or Evermore, whatever that one's called? Fearless. What's the other newest one she just did?
Reputation, Evermore.
Yeah, but what's the other one that she did?
Folklore.
Folklore. Are they all one word? So just call
So it's got to be something like Chiefs related.
pass interference. All right, I got to figure this out now. Are they all one word? Everybody is just. Oh, Speak Now.
Yeah.
But since Speak Now have they all? So Midnight's Red, Fearless, Evermore, Folklore, Lover, Reputation, 1989, Red.
Ooh, I've got it.
Speak
Red,
Now, Fearless,
Kelce version.
and Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift, her name first album, and Speak Now were the only two that are not.
I like Red Kelce version or Travis version. Red Travis version.
I like Red Travis.
Red Travis.
I like Bread Travis.
Gosh, man, that's just going to be any day now. I'm sure it's going to be like headline. They broke up. I'm like, dang it.
I think they make it to at least a Super Bowl. Just
Well, I
an
don't really-
outside
Yeah,
factor.
I can see T Swift on the field after the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs are probably going to make the Super Bowl.
Probably.
They always do. And so I think the NFL won't let them break up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's great PR, man.
I don't think the NFL can make Taylor Swift do anything.
No, but it is an insane.
NFL can make a lot of
It
people
is
do a
an
lot of
insane PR from obviously Travis
I think
Kelce
that
has
Taylor
much
Swift
more to
can make
gain
the
PR
NFL
wise, but even like Taylor Swift will gain some fans from like people who will decide they're interested because.
Well, that's the other thing. you
Will
have to
they,
think
or
of.
are they going to all be annoyed with her? Because
No,
of
they'll
her
be
point.
both.
But she'll gain
But
some new attention.
all
But Travis
notoriety is
Kelce has the
good.
most to gain.
When
But
you're
no
in Taylor-
one's gonna hear about Taylor Swift because of Travis Kelce.
Correct.
You
Yes.
can't say nobody.
But
Yes.
yeah.
The
I mean, some of
ratio is very much higher in Travis Kelce's favor as far
Yeah.
as.
But you do have to think.
I'm thinking.
Taylor Swift's PR standpoint,
Okay.
right? If she's at the Super Bowl, there's 120 million people watching the Super Bowl live.
Yeah.
That's a big PR move, brand move. Like it makes you very relevant.
Well, I mean, anything
So
to
she
just
does. The
mix up.
the NFL does have something to offer Taylor Swift, which is 110 eyeballs concurrently on you, which she can't get anywhere else.
Well, I don't even know if it's as much. I don't know if it's as much exposure, more of just like a storyline, just like for her fans to follow another thing. And like, get riled up about something.
These
Like,
were the nominees.
I sure think that they both benefit from it. Also, if they break up, I'm not gonna be like told you so or like anything like that because obviously they have no like.
No, they're gonna break up 100%. Neither of them are mature enough, I don't think.
Well, I don't even know if it's that. I think it's that. I think it's that the moment.
Well, I've heard Travis Kelce talk a lot,
funny, dude.
and like the way he
About
talks, like he
33.
doesn't seem like he's in a life position.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Either way, I don't even think that it's their fault that they got sucked into the weird dating thing because they're just like interested in you. Just imagine if every person you were slightly interested in, the entire world was talking about how you were dating and how you were perfect or you were imperfect or about how you're going to have babies together. If you have all this stuff,
if you have a big mutual friend group, that happens on a very small scale.
So even if you're like, even if like you text a couple times and you're like, hey, like we're friends, like let's go hang out and go to the pumpkin patch, and you go to the pumpkin patch,
kids
and like never, and you're like, yeah, this was fun hanging out, but like we don't really need to date or anything, and the whole world's like they broke up, like that's what's gonna happen. That's
what I'm saying. It's like it's so hard for.
But I don't think
Taylor
it's
Swift
them. I think it's just more so the media.
It's not easy. These were the Artists of the Decade nominees. There was 10 of them. This is in 2021, so this would have been for like from 2010 to 2020. Like,
okay.
So number 1 was Drake, then Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, Rihanna, Adele, Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber. He could have been a decent shout. Didn't release enough music though. Katy Perry, Maroon 5, and Post Malone.
So a lot of people on that list.
Some big heavy hitters.
Yeah, but a lot of them, I'm like, that's just interesting that they were. Like I haven't heard from them in a long time, you know.
Some of them were
but it was of the decade.
Yeah, I would say some of them definitely were a bigger impact in parts of the decade. Some of them didn't release as much.
Because like I hear
music.
Maroon 5 and I'm like, are people still like is Maroon 5 still releasing
from
stuff? From
2010 to 2015? They were dominating.
Yeah. You got
Drake and Taylor Swift on that list probably released some of the most music out of that bunch, like consistently. That
was before.
Yeah, Rihanna's a similar one because Rihanna, what has she done recently?
Exactly. Yeah. But she was massive whenever she was
Perry
massive.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ever since Dark Horse, has Katy Perry done anything?
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, she did.
I hate that song.
I love Dark Horse. That's what I said. I thought that was my guilty pleasure song, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
She got sued over it.
It's like
lost.
I just love the bass in it.
Got sued and lost.
She'll eat your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer. It's like just the dumbest rap to me. It's so stupid.
That's Juicy J, man.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. I don't think it's good.
Dude, we should make your rap name Juicy K.
Come on.
Yeah.
Actually, it's DJ K.
DJ K.
No, we all call my dad DJ Kevy Kev.
Kev. Why
Yeah,
does
we call him
DJ
that.
always have to have like Kevy Kev? Like I feel like that makes sense. You have like that double.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what you'd call it.
We call him that because he was DJ.
Nice.
And we think it's funny.
I've never DJ'd.
Well, I mean, there's some DJs that are like just a normal name, right? Surely.
Yeah, Dead Mouse 5. Dead Mouse 5.
It's just Dead Mouse, man.
That's Dead Mouse 5.
Dead Mouse 5, bro. I love Dead Mouse 5.
I had a friend growing
Dead
up.
Mouse 4 was a lot
Calvin
better,
Harris?
You're right, Calvin Harris.
Yeah.
DJ.
Was he a DJ?
That's what he is.
Yeah, that's what he
still
is.
to this day.
He's not dead?
No.
Calvin Harris?
I'm thinking of
kidding.
Avicii.
I'm just kidding. Dude, I'm always thinking about Avicii.
Calvin Harris. I like Calvin Harris a lot.
I made an Avicii joke the other day, but I don't remember what it was.
Dang.
It wasn't about him being dead.
Oh.
It was about his artistry.
He's good.
Who was the
Avicii. David Guetta.
No,
DJ?
Not a DJ.
Hey,
Mike
brother.
Posner. Have you seen Mike Posner's like
His story,
transformation?
dude? Yeah.
Basically,
Dude, he's got a crazy story.
like now I listen to this like
I forget who he is.
If I could write you a song.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah. Then he like most recently he walked across America.
Dang. What
Yeah.
does that mean? What do you mean?
Like he
walk-
walked across America.
Yeah,
Why do you-
from
that's
California
crazy. To raise money.
to New York to raise money.
Dang, dude. Come on, Mike.
And
Big
but
Mike.
Big
I
Mike.
listened to like an
Big
hour
Mike.
long. He basically had like paid for a sit down with Gary Vee, like a meeting, and Gary obviously did what he did, which just recorded it and then put it out there. And so I listened to that on my runs. It was just fascinating.
Yeah, he's got an interesting story. He kind of hit rock bottom after it. The music industry, man, is brutal. He made a hit first time out there, blew up, got super famous. Second one didn't do as well, and then they shelved him.
Shelved him.
They just weren't pushing his stuff. And then when you're not pushing your music, you're not making any money. And you hit rock bottom.
At that
dude.
time, you're not. Now you just have a TikTok account.
Yeah, now you can just make a tick and be like,
Now you can just
Hey.
walk across America. Anybody can walk across America. I'm just kidding.
Forrest Gump
I'm just
ran.
kidding. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
So
Mike.
did this dude.
You let
what's
Forrest
his
Gump
name?
outshine you like that?
Yeah.
Hela, something like that. He just ran across America.
We should
a
do
little
that.
bit ago. He's been running every day for 2,500 days
How many
straight.
miles?
That
is America
is
across?
crazy. That is so bizarre.
How many?
Yeah,
How
and
many?
he runs every day.
I respect
still
the
runs
heck
every
and
day.
heck out of that, mainly because my mind cannot comprehend how you can do that.
Yeah, he ran a 100-miler and then like put a video out because the next day he still had to run to keep his streak alive of running every day. And he was like limping out there, acting. He was like all sore, and he's like, "I'm just kidding," and then just like started running.
So the
crazy.
shortest coast to coast you can do is 2,089 miles. So to do that in a year, you would need to do an average of 5.7 a day.
That's not bad.
But if you were to do in a month,
a month would be ludicrous.
You have to do 70 miles a day.
I feel like
it's impossible.
Even just minorly serious.
You could do it in 6. You could do it in 6 months and do like 10 miles a day.
I think he did like 10 to 15 miles a day. He was somewhere in there.
Crazy, dog.
Mm-hmm. There's another dude I follow. He is from Korea. Well, he's born in America, but his parents are from Korea, and so he wants to go the trip. Right now, he's running a marathon a month. So he's 9 months in. Just finished the Berlin Marathon. His name's Matt Choi. But then he wants to go, and there's this trail basically covers all of South Korea. So from like the northernmost part, there's a trail that goes all the way.
Don't go too far north.
And he basically would have to run close to a marathon a day for, I forget how many days it was. And that's like the next thing he wants to do.
Just don't do it.
Dang. It's like a marathon a day for like 12 or 15 days or something like that straight.
Man, just don't do it.
And so that's what he's like starting to like train and prep for. He wants to do that next year.
That's pretty cool.
That's sick, man. Dude, don't worry. I'm getting back in shape, man. Once I get my home gym set up, dude, things are gonna be different around here.
Them boys around here.
That's gonna be the difference. I've always said that. That's going to be an interesting breaking point for me because I've always said like the real difference in my fitness is going to be when I have a space at my house that I can work out in. And now that I have a basement, I have the ability to do that.
I found it harder to go lift weights in my basement than to go to the gym.
And I think you may be exactly right. But my schedule just does not afford going to the gym. It just doesn't. It requires me to either wake up too early. That is a failing thing for me. So my best bet, I think, is to do my workouts either at home right after work or even like later in the evening after I put Brooks to bed.
That's what I do. I put Luca down, put that headlamp on, get out the door and run.
And I think,
or lunch break if it's listening.
So I think if I can get the routine started again, because that's always the key is getting the routine started. I think having it that ease of access, because when I'm in a routine with the gym, if I could snap my fingers and be at the gym, I would do it every time. I enjoyed it. We're gonna see. I gotta build it out though. Weights are expensive, man. Although
weights are expensive.
You can see there was one like the adjustable weight set where
that's
like
what I got, like
clip
that
in or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Whatever I rotate.
Those are really expensive normally, but there was one on Facebook Marketplace for like $50 or even less than that. It was so cheap. Like you can. I'm gonna have a real mismatch of stuff. Maybe at the beginning I'll just be squatting cinder blocks. I don't know. My parents have like these giant tractor tires in their backyard that they're supposed to get moved before they close on the house. But maybe I'll just take them and just start flipping them.
There you go.
I don't know. But I'm just gonna get some foam like pads to lay down and like a grid.
I didn't enjoy lifting weights.
I enjoy lifting weights.
So
a lot.
That's why running, I've like gotten to where I enjoy it. It's still like some days it sucks, but with running, I have a goal where like if I miss workouts for like a week straight, then I'm going to struggle to meet my goal. So like I have that motivation. Lifting weights, like the only motivation I had was to look better.
Yeah.
And like
the reason
at the end of the day, I'm okay with how I
running.
look. So I didn't really care.
Running was much better for competitiveness and channeling that.
That's all. I had to channel competitiveness. Yeah. I would have to enter a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
Would be the only way I would care about lifting weights.
Weightlifting, the reason I liked weightlifting a lot was because it was, you're not out of breath the whole time, and that is a difficulty when you start running. Is like it's a lung exercise as much as anything. So it's nice to be able to do it almost more at leisure. B, I saw results really quick with weightlifting to where within a month you look better, you lose weight a lot quicker, and you feel stronger. So like that's why I got into the weightlifting.
I really do enjoy the CrossFit style working out because the most enjoyable part for me is one, I like feeling like I couldn't have pushed any harder. Like at the end of the workout, I like feeling like I'm barely going to make it to my car because I left everything I had out there. Yeah. That's a good feeling. And then I also really like that you see really, really quick improvement with that. Not necessarily in like the way you look or anything, but just, I mean, like the next week you might be able to go heavier, or you might be able to go a couple reps more. Like you improve really quickly with that stuff, which is what motivates me to work out, is whenever I can feel a difference from last time I worked out. I can feel this is easier than last time I worked out, or I'm able to run a lot further without getting tired than last time I worked out.
CrossFit's great. I used to do CrossFit for baseball. The only downside to CrossFit, and it really isn't going to kick in unless you're doing it competitively or very seriously, is the injuries with CrossFit, because you're doing a lot of you're lifting a lot of weights.
That's if you're
in
very CrossFit is movements. Your sport that you do.
Yeah,
if CrossFit is your workout.
It's typically because, I told you guys the story about that muscle disease or whatever. Yeah, there's basically, for those of you listening, there is this Konner. Very early on in the CrossFit thing, came in talking about how he couldn't move his arms multiple days later, and it was still so sore.
Yeah, it was a week later, and I still couldn't.
And he had these certain
brush my
symptoms.
teeth.
And my sister, who did, she studied exercise science in college, and she's going to school for physical therapy. She had recently heard about this very popular CrossFit injury.
So I was asking Trevor and Hunter about it because, literally, a week and a half later, I still was I would lay down and not move, and my arms would ache so bad that I couldn't sleep. It was really bad.
I was let me message my sister about this and just see what.
I was getting nervous.
I was really just maybe she has some suggestions or ideas. And she was I just heard about this thing that CrossFitters can get. And I don't remember the name of it, but
rheumatoid arthritis.
Basically, if you shock your muscles super hard,
I think they call it Robdo. That's what the CrossFitters
they had
call it.
They even had a nickname for it, which is crazy. But basically, it can if you shock your muscles too hard with too much intense work, they can release this toxin that can get into your blood.
Glycerin?
I don't know.
No.
And it can potentially be fatal. It'll really mess you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was funny, because the girl who wrote this article was telling the story, and she called her CrossFit coach to tell her about what was happening on, and they had a nickname for this.
Yeah.
That's how CrossFit can get to where they're oh, we've got a nickname for this injury that happens that can kill you. And it was just so funny, because then I told Konner about it, and this guy was
Konner was convinced he was dying.
Probably writing his last will and testament,
because literally all the things I just told you guys about how I was feeling was listed out in the article.
It was I was hesitating to read it, because I was oh man, this is serious.
I was sitting next to him, and the rest of the day, he would just be randomly had to look back over, and he'd be pulled up another article, scrolling through it. But you didn't want to go to the doctor.
I don't get that with stuff, but I think this one was really concerning me, because genuinely it was a good period of time afterwards, and my arms hurt really bad. It wasn't just I knew what muscle soreness felt like. It wasn't the first time in my life I'd ever worked out. I've worked out much more aggressive workouts before, but this one was just one that I didn't do very often. It was the push, whatever, the kettlebell pushes.
Presses.
So the kettlebell presses. So you're doing it above your head.
Presses suck.
Yeah, and so but it literally was every single moment of every single day was a dagger being pushed through my arms. That's what it felt like. And so I was getting really nervous about it. I told my parents about it later, about how because we went,
it was crazy.
We met them halfway for dinner or something, and I was oh, by the way, guys, I'm probably dying.
Yeah, this could be our last dinner.
Because CrossFit, the danger is because you're doing complicated movements fast.
Yeah, form can go out the window, because a lot of CrossFit, which is good and bad, is that they push you very hard. And if that's done healthy, that's great, because as long as they're keeping you within your limits. But sometimes people try to pick up, because of the environment and how exciting it is.
Yeah.
They try and do things they shouldn't.
I still Gabby always looks at me and is she shakes her head whenever I grab weights, because I can't help, if I'm in a room with you, I'm not gonna grab lighter weights than anybody else.
That's that's part of the CrossFit.
The guys who do it every single day and have been doing it for years and are freaking shredded, they go, they pick up a weight. I'm I'm not gonna be a pansy. And so I just literally try to kill myself.
The biggest thing is you do CrossFit, you're timed for a lot of things. You're doing AMRAPs, which is as many reps as possible. Yeah. And so therefore form can go out the window, because typically if you're just doing a set of weightlifting, there's no time.
But that's if you're doing it by yourself though. But we have a coach that he will catch if you're doing something in a way that's going to hurt you or that's not beneficial to you, then he'll tell you to change. So he walks around and he watches us do it.
It's all about being careful. Right. It's when it becomes competitive and stuff, it can get dangerous. But it's all about.
He also asks, "How are you feeling right now?" Because you can be "I'd rather you go lighter and be able to do more reps than not be able to do a rep correctly." So he'll make you change weights. And stuff
it's intense though. I had this side hustle when I was in college during the summer, I guess it was.
Drug dealing?
Yeah,
Yep.
basically. Where
You got to get really ripped because you had to beat people up.
there was this lady at our church who she was really into CrossFit, her and her husband, and they had a business where they made these frozen meals that you would like heat up or whatever, and they made them like from scratch in this kitchen. They were really awesome meals, and they specialized in like they were meant to be for CrossFitters. Like that was their whole push. And so I would drive around York County and
drove a
Hershey
Prius.
and all over. I drove a Prius around.
2007 Prius.
I don't know if it was an 07, but it was a great time. It had a lot of mileage on it. And I would deliver these meals to these CrossFit gyms. So I got to go to a lot of different CrossFit gyms. And let me tell you, man, they're just serious business in there. There's a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. Some of them looked like zoos, a lot of metal chain link fences and stuff. And then some of them were a little more low key. And then some people just got them delivered to their house.
Ours is pretty low key. I mean, it's at our church, so
Yeah.
it's not like people screaming and stuff like that.
There's CrossFit.
They're like, yeah, great job.
There's CrossFit Lynchburg somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a CrossFit.
CrossFit is dying out somewhat.
It had a heyday
It had
for
its,
sure. It did
yeah.
have a heyday.
That's what workouts
Well, I think it was
go
kinda like
through,
disc golf.
phases.
Like how disc golf like really, really blew up because some people got into it, and then now it's kind of
The
trickled a little
CrossFit
bit.
Games was like
I think it was kind of
a
like how
pretty
it was.
big deal for a while there.
In health and fitness, there's so many trends because
Yeah.
the majority of people, like if you pick any type of fitness thing and stick to it, you'll see
Yeah.
results. But the majority of people
They want the next
want
Yeah.
the one that's going to give it to
Running
you
and
the
triathlon
fastest.
are pretty big right now.
Yeah, running's a big trend right now.
Yeah. Running and biking and like that kind of niche is getting really big because I think a lot of key influencers are doing it, and it's catching on pretty big.
Because running's a similar thing of like, I'm sure there's parts in CrossFit where, because any workout you can't go hard every time because that just trains different parts. But because like running is a similar, like you were just saying, like out of breath, but like if you run correctly, no matter what stage you're at, then you're not out of breath for 80% of your runs because you're just doing the low. But
It's less.
if you
I
go
think
out
it's
and
less
run,
out of breath with running.
people
It's-
don't have any
It's
clue.
more that it's never stop with running.
No, you're supposed to stop. Easy runs, you run, walk.
Right, but-
It's just your heart rate is all you care about.
Right, but I'm saying a lot of your runs like, and there is like interval running and stuff, but a lot of running, like if I go run a 5K, typically like you run. You don't stop.
But well, 5K is supposed to be at your zone 4. So 5K, you're supposed to get your heart to 170 something.
Yeah, I understand.
But
I'm just
if
saying,
you're-
like weightlifting, you literally take breaks over and over and over again. I'm just saying a difference between them. I'm not saying one's better than the other. Like weightlifting, you will lift a set,
I'm
stop,
saying
and sit down.
if I told someone go run 5 miles,
Mm-hmm.
they're not at like you unless you're in running, you don't have any knowledge of I want this to be easy the whole 5 miles, because running you think you want it to suck, because like running's
Yeah.
used as a like punishment in every other sport. So that's why I always hated running, is because running was, you missed your free throw, go run 10 laps.
Yeah.
And you better do it in however many seconds or else you're going to do it again. And so you just end up like, that was running for me. So that's why I hated it. But that's what I think ends up with a lot of working out of like trends, is like if you come in, you don't commit to doing it the right way, which is going to take a long time to see results, but you try to do it the wrong way because it's like going to give you quick results really fast, but then they're not sustainable results because it's going to lead to injury like in CrossFit, or it's going to lead to whatever, because you're doing stuff the wrong way and trying to like cheat the system. Then that's what causes these like trends to go down. And then it's like, keto's it. Like
Keto,
people
baby.
were changing their usernames on social media to be keto, whatever. And like,
know
shocker,
a few.
keto's not there anymore. Like, again, if you stick to keto, yeah, it works. But it's like, really the recipe is just take in less calories than you burn and get those calories from good sources. And that's it. It's just, that's too
Yeah.
easy. You can't sell anything off that.
Yeah, it's always extreme. Well, it's like if you get into lifting at all, like lifting's always been popular, but most of the lifting influencers are bodybuilders. And for starters, most of them aren't natural anyways.
Yeah.
So it's pretty tough to like, there needs to be more relatable fitness channels where it's guys who just do like normal fitness things and have like diets that are pretty good with occasionally they mess up a little bit. Like we need more of that. Like this is how you can like be in good shape and like take care of yourself, but you're not, running 100 miles or an Olympic bodybuilder, because those are the ones that get famous. There are some guys. There's this guy on TikTok that's really big right now in the lifting community, which I don't even really consume, but somehow he's always on my page. His name's Sam Sulek, and dude is like on so much like steroids that like every time he's talking, he's like breathing so heavily because he's just always out of breath. Like his heart is probably just struggling so much. It's crazy. It is insane. I've never got like, well, I understand why people like there's definitely a lot of people have an attraction to like wanting to get as big as possible, but like I can't imagine injecting myself with stuff to
I don't know.
Heck no. Connor's like, I don't even want the needles.
My favorite, one of my favorite things within social media is watching guys that are clearly on steroids.
Is that a thing in the running community? Do guys roid up on their legs? Because like I feel like
not that I've seen.
Endurance is such a big part of steroid usage.
Well, because if you're
and
fast enough,
prevention.
if you're fast enough that you're trying to run to prove it, then there's drug testing at races.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if there's been cycling.
Yeah.
So I guess it does happen.
I'm sure it happens.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, it's a weird balance because
Lance Armstrong didn't technically.
He was doping.
Yeah.
I don't know what he used, but
Well, he was using his own blood just at lower altitudes. That's what Lance Armstrong got caught for.
whatever was
Really?
he cheated.
Yeah, because at higher altitudes, your blood gets thinner and therefore it's less efficient. So what he was doing was he was taking vials of his blood at lower altitudes and he would inject that into his bloodstream at the higher altitude, make his body function as if it was at a lower altitude.
I almost respect that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's just
That's
genius.
just smart.
Now he might.
That's cheap.
I'm sure he did more stuff, but that's one of the things he was known
Yeah,
for. So
that's crazy.
I don't feel like you'd be known as like the
figured
biggest
that one
like
out?
guy in sports history to ever use drugs if you did that. So I'm
But,
sure there's
strong,
more
man,
to
that's
it.
strong.
Because like the weird thing with running is like it's just a new trend of the like hybrid athlete where you lift and run. Because like if you look at Kipchoge, the greatest marathon runner of all time, like there's no muscle on him. Like because you got to be thin to run as fast
I'm
as
sure
they
he weight
run.
trains his legs, but nothing heavy.
Yeah, no, like his legs are 100% muscle, but he runs a marathon at a 5-minute pace.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're
can't be big. Yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
But then like Nick Bear's a guy I follow the most. But like he's trying to run a marathon at 2:45, 2 hours 45 minutes, which is like 6 something pace, which is still crazy fast. But my favorite thing to watch is like guys who look clearly on steroids try to prove they're not on steroids without doing any type of testing. So like Nick Bear has shown his testing multiple times. People still say he's on steroids. I don't know if he is or not. It won't change what I think of him because who cares?
Yeah.
Well, it would change because you're lying to people if you say it. But my favorite thing, like he's done blood testing and shown his blood testing results multiple times. People have said, "Oh, he's cherry picking his blood test results and show us that." I don't care.
Who knows?
At least he's testing because there's multiple people who like will be like, "I'm not on steroids," and then like try to explain it away, and people are like, "Why don't you get tested?" He's like, "Well, no, like I'm not. You're gonna force me to get tested. Like I'm not on steroids." And he's just like roid raging all over the place. And you're
Happens
like,
all the time, man.
You're on steroids.
R.I.P.
That's
Liver
crazy.
King, dude. He got outed.
Yeah, and he was on a lot of steroids.
Yeah. Okay,
He
it was
was
like
on-
so obvious.
Well, yeah,
Like,
you don't. There's just some body types where you're like, you just can't get there. Like you can get there naturally,
Well,
technically,
the
but
best
like
way to
it's
like
not gonna happen.
the West
Yeah.
Bay to
the West Bay.
Yeah, the best way to like try and convince people of that was like doing the Liver King thing because nobody is eating that diet normally.
Yeah.
So that
But
was
like
he
you
wasn't
don't-
even eating that diet.
But like you
Probably not.
don't. But even then, like nobody believes that you look like that by eating like that.
there was because he
If
made
you
a
do-
ton of money.
If
off
made
you
a
of
think
lot.
that, if
Yeah.
you think that you're dumb, if you
I
look
would
at him and
agree.
you think all you have to do is eat
Well,
this
that's
way,
how
and
every single
that's how all these
diet
work.
and trend start. Is
it's
you get
true.
one like there's that V Shred dude. I forget his name. I don't know what he
Dude, I
pushes, but he just pops up on my Instagram as like he runs ads, and he's like, "Do you want to look like this?" And he's just got shredded. He's like, "And eat only pizza all the
Yeah.
time."
yeah, that's
My
and
favorite
like,
ad.
you
I
know
don't know
that's
if
not
it's
gonna
the same. Is he
work.
the guy with the shorter black hair? That
He's got like spike hair.
There's this Asian guy that was
he
really
always
big
pops
on
up on my
feed for a
YouTube and he's
while.
like, "Do you want to eat donuts every day and still look like this?" And he's like doing 1-arm pull-ups while eating donuts.
And
I'm
it's like, bro,
that's just
everyone knows that's not true.
Yeah.
But not everyone knows it's not true.
Just
Because people are
click
like-
here. Just click here.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, yes.
If
I
you
would
click
like
here,
to look like
you
that and
get
eat pizza every
You
day.
get a free 6-pack if you click here.
There
I
was,
just understand that's not how it works.
There was this
Yeah.
Asian guy on my feed for a long time, like in my YouTube ads. His name was like Mike something, and he had this ad of him like he's super shredded and he's eating like he's like I can eat all my favorite foods, like eating pizza and sushi and like all these foods in front of him, and all it did was make me hungry every time. I'm getting hungry right now thinking about it. I was
It's just like-
I was like, I don't care what you're selling. I just want that sushi.
It will always work. It will
It's
always
yummy.
work because humans will always look for a way to get
easy way.
rich quick and to get fit fast. Like it's like
Cash for
everybody's
gold, man.
always looking for
And
that
typically, the easiest way to get rich quick is to sell something that makes you fit fast.
stuff. That is wow,
Should we
Hunter.
try?
Come on, my
Okay,
grandpa.
guys,
my
let's develop our get fit fast strategy.
Okay.
Let's try to make something new. Let's name it. What are we doing? So the premise is this is going to be another sell.
Easy.
Do we go like anti-industry?
No, this is what you do.
Okay.
Here's what I have come up with. I've just concocted this.
I've got one after you.
Okay. Someone's gonna have to name it for me because I don't have the name yet.
Cash for gold.
It basically what it is it's a pill that makes it where you can't taste for 45 minutes.
Wow. So yours is like legit though.
Yes,
this is a legit
take this
strategy.
pill.
There's actual health involved with this.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
No, but then in that 45 minutes, you can eat. You just have to focus on the texture. So we'll come up with healthy recipes that
they make things
the texture
that numb
is
your
like
tongue.
pizza, but it's like cauliflower and fake cheese and all that gross crap. So you can eat texture. So it won't gross you out. Like you won't crunch into broccoli. Like that's not going to be happening. You're eating stuff that texture-wise tastes like it should be unhealthy, but it's all really healthy. You just don't have to taste the grossness is going down.
But what you're saying is like actual work though.
That's fine,
we have to come up with
as
something
long as
that's a
it's
scam.
As long as it's cheap.
Yeah, that's just a good idea.
That's a good idea.
That's a 30-day supply. Will cost you $20.
I do that, but
That's
I just wrap
not
my
expensive enough.
I just wrap my tongue in saran wrap.
Yeah,
and just do
same.
that.
Yeah,
So,
same.
My idea was you start off with, have you ever wondered why the most fit people in the world are rowers? And then you just tell lies basically, and then you show clips of people rowing that are just completely shredded, and you're like, it's because like the most timeless workout has always been rowing.
Yeah, I love
and
the rowing
then
machine.
but you convince people that there's something about being in the water that makes a difference. Maybe something about it being grounded,
And then we
you being
sell
in
them
the earth, something like
pools?
that. No, then you can sell the workout plan. And then you also have your own branded kayaks.
There you go.
Or
Still, though,
paddles.
the problem there is you still have to work out. I think the key
True.
with
That's a good point.
You got to be able to not work
Yeah.
out. You know what? I think we just throw this all out the window and let's just sell those vibrating machines. You stand on for 20 minutes. It's
Yeah.
a full body workout.
No, the belt, the ab one.
Even better.
We need
Yeah.
to make that a punishment that somebody has to wear that because it probably suck to wear. And
Yeah,
you're
but
not
what
gonna get
happens
results.
if in an hour you've got rock hard abs?
Then we all win.
Yeah,
'Cause then we get
true.
to look at them.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, I just feel like you just be in pain all day with your stomach would just feel
No,
like you
here we
laugh
go.
too hard
Here we
all
go.
day and it wouldn't do anything.
Here we go. We combine all of it together.
Okay.
It's a
We
full
make a
body suit?
No. It's a vibrating cap. And what this cap does
On your head?
is it reprograms
brain
your brain.
damage?
No, on your head. It reprograms your brain to send neurofibers down through your body
Neurofibers.
that will
It sends neurofibers?
Yep.
Not
through the vibrating that enact your muscles as if you're working out, and in the process, it also fires.
Oh, it's like a TENS machine.
Yeah, but for your brain. And so it hacks your central nervous
So you
system
shock your brain.
to make your muscles act as though they've just went through a tough workout without you having to do that.
trick
And
them.
in the same process, it fires the neutrons that from our studies show that that's the same neutrons in your brain that the richest people in the world fire. So you will begin to think like them over time. So it makes
Oh my
you
gosh.
rich quicker
Programming Warren Buffett.
healthier
And-
with just our $39.99 or 4 payments of $15.99 cap.
And it'll make you want to buy more cap because you're richer now.
Oh, and this cap is one use only.
Come on. Here's another idea.
And it self-destructs.
A pill
And Ibiza.
that reduces body fat and increases muscle.
Oh my gosh. I think
Yeah.
they sell that at a gas station. I've seen.
No,
Like
that
dirty
increases something
rhino or
else.
something.
All right, we're gonna spin to see who's on the show next week. I'm already spun it.
Okay.
It is
Whom is it?
Psy Guy.
Big Psy.
Come on.
It's been a while since Big Psy's been on.
Yeah, we're here next Wednesday.
Are
Psy
we here
Guy.
next Wednesday?
We leave next Wednesday.
What time are we leaving?
Oh, we'll be here next Wednesday. I understand.
Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah,
I
we
have no
had
idea
said-
what time we're leaving.
We had said that we were leaving, I
We're
think,
leaving
after
Wednesday.
work.
We can film it on Tuesday.
Whatever.
We'll be here on Wednesday.
Silas.
Come on, Big Psy. I just hurt myself. I pulled something in my throat.
Jason.
That's a new cast for
Oh,
sure.
me, Silas, and Jason. Yeah, we
Silas
never
and
had that
Jason.
before.
That is going to be a new cast.
That would be a
for
good
sure,
time.
dogs.
That'd be a good time.
There you go.
Really good time.
Are you making a sound effect?
Yeah, your sound effect is a guy who is on a lot of steroids trying to walk up a flight of stairs.
Okay. It's my turn.
Sure.
Why do they freaking make stairs?
Oh, Void Rage. That was good.
Thank you.
Mine is.
I don't want to be around.
What's the difference between someone on steroids and just a really fat person?
Nothing.
Nothing.
There you have
Fat
it. Get
people
puffy.
are honest.